Good morning, friends, and happy first day of spring. Hi everyone from the micro-farm. Out here today, the robins are singing and the sun is shining and there are plants starting to make their way out into the world. So there is new life happening out here. And I'm really excited to take you guys on a little tour of what all we have going on out here. So this is also my first time ever doing a video like this, so just bear with me while I kind of figure it out. Okay, so first things first, I'm so excited to show you all that the garlic is coming up. So after being lovingly planted by the third graders back at the end of October, I think, this garlic has spent the whole winter just snuggling under a nice blanket of hay. And it is always one of the first signs of life in the spring. And how great is that to have a vegetable growing already that I didn't even have to plant this spring. So it's always really nice to see the garlic, and we have a total of 4 beds of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third graders might remember they each helped to plant in groups a different bed. And it's all looking awesome. We're gonna have, I think we planted a record amount of garlic this year. I believe there are gonna be close to 700, so pretty cool. All right, so this right here, if anybody remembers the bright, glorious sunflowers that we had out here last summer and fall, I left them up here after they had stopped blooming, and that is because the seeds and even the remaining plant material makes really great winter snacks for the birds and other pollinators that might be around. So it looks like these have been thoroughly enjoyed by our bird friends, and I think they still look pretty even when they're just the last little bits of themselves here. Yeah, and there are no seeds left, so the birds were very thorough in their snacking. Speaking of snacks, can anybody tell what this one is? It's a kale plant, and kale is pretty winter hardy. So there's still this guy here. There's also a purple one over here. So fun. But there would have been even more kale. If you see all those white stumps down over there, those were all also kale plants, poised to survive the winter, but they have been snacked upon by probably deer and rabbits. So yeah, I mean, stocking up for snacks for the winter is a serious thing, and it looks like the animals know where to find the most nutritious plants around. So, you know, good for them, I guess. We have a whole bunch of new kale plants started in the greenhouse right now, actually, so we'll be able to add to this one winter survivor pretty soon. And over here, of course, we have our compost pile. And upper school teachers, thank you for all of the coffee that you drink, because the coffee grounds compost so nicely and contribute wonderfully to dark, rich, lovely compost to nourish our plants. And this has all been just quietly breaking down over the course of the winter, and it is probably pretty warm at the bottom of this compost pile as all of the microbes in the soil are doing their thing and breaking the food down. It gives off a lot of heat, so if I were to put a temperature down there, or a thermometer in there rather, it would probably be close to 100 degrees at least. Which is pretty exciting. So all of that just looks like a big pile of hay, but under there is delicious food for our future crops out here, which is pretty exciting to think about. So yeah, it doesn't look like a whole lot just yet, but there's a lot happening, and it is just the beginning, friends. All right, so here's one that some of you may have in your yards now. It's called Cleavers. And Cleavers is a little sticky feeling, so some people don't really like it, and it's usually considered a weed. But it can be used for herbal medicine, both for skin-related issues and also as a tonic for the lymphatic system. So sometimes people will make like a tea or like an extraction with it. And it's just, I think it's kind of fun because it's just like the stickiness of it doesn't bother me. I've known kids that have actually used it to play Cleavers tag, where they throw it at each other. So I don't know, sometimes we might need to get creative in these times. Also, there's Cooper the dog. Hi, Cooper! Just hanging out, guarding that corner of the garden. He says hi to all of you and that he misses your smiling faces and your nice Cooper cuddles. All right, friends, here's another one of my favorites. This is a good one to know just because it is so soft. It's quite lovely just to feel its fuzzy little leaves. So it's called Mullen, and it's used also in herbal medicine. The leaves are really great. They have a lot of properties that are really great for respiratory health. So you can use it if you have a respiratory infection, cough, things like that. Tea made from this plant is really great for that. There's actually been several clinical studies on it. So I highly recommend taking a look. It grows pretty wild on its own. You might find it in your yard, or if there's woods or a field near you, and you often will see them in the side of the road too. In the summer they grow a really tall stem with yellow flowers on it. This is the version from last year. So this plant in the summer would have had yellow flowers all up and down this here. And then of course those soft leaves coming up and down the stem. It kind of just looks like a cactus or something at this point. And it's hard to believe that that is the same as that, but it's true. So yeah, keep a lookout for Mullen. It's a really neat plant. On the note of perennials, this is rhubarb, just starting to make its way out of the soil. I love seeing the beginnings of rhubarb in the spring because you don't see a lot of things that are this bright, vibrant, rich red color this time of the year. So within a few months it'll have a big stem that'll be that same color, and then the big leaves. The stem is the part that you can use to make delicious treats. It's got kind of a tangy tart flavor, goes really well with strawberries in, say, strawberry rhubarb pie, which is my favorite dessert. So yeah, it's always one of my favorite early spring friends out in the garden. All right, one more thing. Here are a whole bunch of the little baby plants that we started in the last couple of weeks. All of these will be making their way out to the micro-farm and to the high tunnel before too long. Here's some that are almost ready to sprout. A couple others. These were just seeded and are going to be peppers, so they won't be sprouting for another couple weeks. Oh, and then up here, these little tiny guys are snapdragons. For anybody who knows what snapdragons are, really sweet flowers that do indeed snap like a dragon. The seeds are so small and very difficult to plant, but I'm happy that it looks like a lot of them came up. And then also, last but not least, these are the little baby leeks. Look how cute they are. So one of my favorite times of the year is seed starting time, and it's something that gives me a lot of hope to plant things that I know will be growing in the future. So coming in and seeing these little guys in here makes me infinitely happy. So one of my other favorite things about the garden, pretty much any time of the year, is that Cooper the dog is just a real professional at getting comfortable in just about any part of the garden. So there he is, just kind of having made a nest and just kind of hanging out. Hi, buddy, even with sticks almost right in his little face. Okay, one last plant on the note of perennials. This looks like a big, tall, dead plant, but when you get down here, look at these crazy looking little purple tentacles. That is this year's edition of the marshmallow plant. That is what this is, believe it or not. The marshmallow plant actually came before the marshmallow treat that we all know and love now, maybe. They used to make marshmallows with the root of this very plant. True story. Anyway, I always think the very beginning of the plant looks nothing like this once it actually grows. It's like big and green and fuzzy and pretty, but they look so crazy right now, and there's just these little purple sprouts. Okay, that is the last perennial for today. Such exciting times out here in the micro-farm. And so here is where the raspberries were. There's still some stragglers from last year, back in the fall, and where they will be again in the late summer and the fall later this year. It's something to look forward to. And so I just wanted to say, there's a lot of things just starting to happen out here. It's one of my favorite times of year to be in the garden. I love watching everything come to life, and I'm really going to miss sharing that with all of you in person. But I'm very grateful that we have this technology that allows us to still stay connected and gives me a way to still share this with all of you. So thank you for bearing with me while I figure out how to use this technology for good and enter this, strange new world of virtual garden tours. And I will see you guys all next time. Cooper says bye too. And I hope everyone is happy and healthy and well. Happy first day of spring, friends.